Rafiki yake mkubwa ni huyo, sema mama yake amezikwa jana. Hao watu wa mtaa wa nani hapo?
Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope I'm audible to everybody. As people are joining from different part of the world, so we can wait 5 more minutes until we get 100 people in the list. While we are waiting for the people to join the session, so you can write your country where from you're joining the session. Everybody is requested to kindly mute your mics. Do not turn on. We will start shortly. So let's start. Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Mohammad Mujahid Mehman. I'm PhD scholar at Putra Business School, UPM, Malaysia. Today I'm facilitating this session as a moderator. I welcome you all on behalf of Education and Research Days, Bangladeshi Student Association, and UPM International Alumni Chapter to this exciting session. As people are joining, so let me remind you some rules for this session. Everyone is requested to keep your mic mute and camera turned off throughout the session. Attendance link will be shared in the chat box comment section. You can fill it, and free certificates will be issued to all the participants accordingly. Please do not click on any link except the attendance shared by us in the comment box or section chat box. So there can be the potential cybersecurity risk. So please do not click on any other link except the attendance link we share with you people. You can write your question and queries in the chat box and comment section. The Q&A session will be held as per wish of a speaker. If she wants to conduct during the session, she can. If she wants to do it at the end of the session, it's purely her decision. So let's move towards the topic, that is AI empowerment in academic graduate writing research, transforming processes and enhancing outcomes. We know that we are living in a digital era where almost all things around us are digital and backed by revolutionary technologies like blockchain, robotics, artificial intelligence. If we see around us like emails, algorithm, ATM machines, personal assistant like Siri, and medical AI algorithm to detect cancer, automatic cars, automatic train navigation system, airplane booking system, ride sharing and travel apps, social media, regulating power supply, and education too. Yes, education too is also changing through AI. Now there are multiple questions coming in our mind, like being graduate student, how we can benefit from AI. What are the processes of using AI in education? How we can enhance our output by using AI? And what are the benefits basically to use AI in education? And what are the challenges before us? And the list go on. We have a lot of questions in this regard. So to answer such questions and unfold secrets of AI education, luckily today we have among us Dr. Ghadah Murshidi. Dr. Ghadah Murshidi is an associate professor of curriculum instruction at United Arab Emirates University. She's known for her groundbreaking research in education technology and artificial intelligence in education. She has consistently produced groundbreaking research publications that have advanced the field's knowledge. The scholars and business experts have taken notice of her work, which has led to invitations to speak at conferences across the world and work with them on creative projects. She imparts her knowledge through lectures and speaking engagements as highly sought after educator. Her mentorship activities at numerous educational institutions demonstrate her dedication to educate the future generation of AI researchers and educators. Her exceptional contributions have earned her numerous awards like Young Emirati Research Award, the Young Researchers Award, Emirati Women Award, and Academic Women Achiever Award, and the list is go on. She continues to inspire the evolution of education technology and AI in education, making a long-lasting impact on the intersection of technology and learning. So without further ado, I warmly welcome Dr. Ghadah Murshidi on board. So ma'am, the platform is yours. You may start your session.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for welcoming me in this event. So as the moderator mentioned, I'm a faculty member of the UEA University, and I will be discussing a topic of the AI connected to the graduate research writing specifically. Okay, so let me share the slides. So today's topic is related to the artificial intelligence empowerment in academic graduate writing research, transforming the process and enhancing the outcome. As you know, AI is very important and it is rapidly evolving technology. In different factors, not only for academia. So for academia, that means we have to use it as researchers and also as, graduate students. AI is very important in academic research because it enhances the data analysis. You can notice that, with the rapid data we have, especially with big data, especially let's say for economic sectors or medical sectors. For example, in COVID-19 and what happens, all that data, with AI, we can analyze and we can get like quick insights and patterns and correlations through the AI, and we can make like the decisions. Also, the AI streamline the research process. It helps us to, speed the process of writing the research. And instead, for example, write a research in, let's say, a 1 month, we can do it, let's say, in 2 weeks or less. It depends on how we using the AI, and it depends on the collaboration among the team. As I mentioned, AI revolutionize the data analysis and research, because it helps us, if we are using some AI tools or platforms or apps, it helps us in, having, the advanced pattern recognition. We can recognize some of these patterns quickly. Also, it helps in real-time data processing. That's mean, through the process of collecting the data, we can also, analyzing the data in the same time. So it is, all this speed generation of the analysis has helped us as a researcher. Also, it's predict the analysis, and that will help us in the future trends and the behaviors based on the data we're having, and also will help us in our decision and making the action faster. So as I mentioned, the AI, we can use it in, for example, in medical cases. We can use it in social sciences, as what we do in in psychology, in languages, and education, and also for environment. Think about if we have an environmental issue in one of the countries, and that issue could affect in other countries. Let's say we have the nuclear issue, energy. So whatever happens in one country could affect the other countries. So the AI help us in monitoring all these kinds of environmental issues. But if we have the real data, the accurate data to use and to monitor. But we have some challenges and limitations when we are using the AI. For example, the data privacy. So if we are using the AI, what kind of data we can feed the AI? This is important because we have to think about privacy, security issues, and also biases issues. Think about it. For example, I will give you to make it clear. For example, Tesla cars. For example, Tesla cars, because they have the cameras and all that, detections. So Tesla cars cannot enter close to or enter any, army places or, and on those locations because of the issue of privacy data. It's similar to the AI and research. For example, there is political and maybe medical data, and it is very confidential and private. That means we cannot enter it and feed it to the AI because this will be, a challenge. Also, the transparency of the algorithmic, because all the data we feed, that's what we will get. So we have to think: is what we are getting from the AI, is it accurate? Can we interpret and it is validated? Because it's all made up by the AI system. So we have to rethink about whatever we are getting from the AI as information. The other issue, and I think this is a big issue in most countries, is the resource accessibility. We don't have the funding to use all these kind of AI applications, platforms, big data, and all that. If we have the fund and the money, so it will be easier for us to use it. The critical issue in AI is the ethical consideration, because do we have equitable AI implementations? So it is ensure fairness with AI. Is there any kind of discrimination issues, gender issues, race, socioeconomic issues, factors? Because whatever is feeding that and whoever feeding that AI is based on some data set. So maybe it's suitable for one country and it is okay for one country, but maybe for other countries it's considered as discrimination, especially let's say in some controversial issues, contradicted ethical issues or political issues, like for example wars or all these kind of issues. The other aspect is the informed consent. When AI taking all these data, do they give the informed consent for the participant or not? So this is also an issue. Also, the other issue is the accountability. So who will be accountable for all this kind of data? Are they, are we using in a right way or not? For example, let's say if we try to use AI for issues related to political, or maybe let's say it is let's say you have ChatGPT and you try to write, for example, I want to know how to create, for example, a pump, or I want to know how to use a gun, or those kind of issues, critical issues. Okay, so the AI will not accept it. So we have to be careful with this. And also, for example, in medical issues, for example, you are sick and you want to have a treatment from AI. So no, we cannot use it like this, because those data feed it for the AI, some of them are not accurate. So we have to be careful with all this kind of data and how we use the AI. But in graduate writing research, we noticed that AI empowered the scholarly work and the quality and efficiency, because it's facilitated the efficient research outcomes. It helped us in language processing, data mining, and all that. Speed the process of the improving the accuracy and providing valuable insight for our graduate writing process. So as I mentioned, the AI has automated data analysis. So if we, as a researchers, we might spend hours in analyzing some kind of data, but using AI will speed the process, especially with complex set of data. Also, the AI help us in generating the content. For example, writing the literature review and all that. And also it help us, to think about the content, and also how we can check the plagiarized content, because there are many and plenty of AI applications can help us in this. So what I'm trying to say is, we will try to use AI platforms, applications, websites to help us, to assist us as researchers, but not use it as just to write and do all the work for us. No, it's just to assist us. And at the end, we are, as a human, we will do the critical thinking and we will do our final product based on our perceptions, based on our thinking and whatever we are working on. So the AI will boost our research productivity, and also it's good for data visualization. For example, if we have a data, if we want to use infographic, or maybe mind mapping, or maybe let's say diagrams. So AI will help us in this. So it will be for less time with good data visualization. AI also will help us in paper editing. And instead, if sometimes you pay a lot just to send a paper, research paper before publication to edit it. So now we have many AI platforms can do the editing process. But after that, you have to also look at all this kind of editing to make sure they did it right. For example, let's say one of the platforms, they can do the editing, let's say the grammar, the language, and all that. But for example, when you check the in-text citation, they do not do it right. So you have to go and check as a human to re-edit the paper. But at least the AI tells you about all these kind of issues. Plagiarism detection, as I said, there is some platforms and apps for that, and also for the literature review. As I mentioned, the AI, through the AI, we can use it for data analysis, because it can identify patterns and trends, especially for big data, especially for strategic decision making. This is not only as a research students or a university or academic aspect. It's bigger than this. Like, for example, let's say for an institution, or let's say for a government. It helps us all for making a decision and making the action, especially like in for example COVID-19 or any other big issues. Also, AI foster innovation, because let's say you have an issue or a case. So through AI, you can investigate complex scientific questions across disciplines, and you can work with other disciplines. It is if you are in social sciences, you can collaborate with, let's say, someone from education and technology, or someone from, let's say, medical sectors. For example, I'm working now on a big project with medicine college, medical college, and with education. And it's all about big data through all medical institutions, academic institutions in the UAE. So imagine the big data we have, imagine the kind of questions, the insights we are discussing through the whole process of writing and collecting the data for our big project. Also, AI, when it enhances our decision-making process, it's also enhance the operation processes, because it's important. And also it enhances the proactive, enables us to enable us proactive strategies that we can use, and especially in marketing, customer service. If we think about some potential risks, we try to have more data analyzed through AI. So AI, it is real-time analysis, but we have to think about the ethical consideration. When we think about the AI, we think about the natural language processing, because that's how it works. AI, it works through this tool. So especially for AI and the writing, it can, refine the writing styles. For example, let's say I know like in the UAE, our Minister of Education, he stated clearly that we want our students in academia to learn how to use AI in their academic studies. But I know in other countries, they banned that mentality and that idea. So in our country, in the UAE, we try to teach our students the skills of, using the AI in their research, so they can use it in refining the writing styles. Because, when you do the research and when you do the writing process, you actually learning. Because, for example, let's say you go to ChatGPT or Google Bard, or any other platforms. You ask, about to write about specific ideas or outline, for example, for a presentation or something else. Okay, so the AI will write for you, the chatbot, but you are as a human, you will relook whatever it is written. So in the same process, you are learning some vocabularies. You might, you don't know the vocabulary, so you will go and translate it through other, platforms and all that. So you are learning through the whole process of using the AI. And also the AI can ensure the clarity and coherence of whatever piece of writing you are, writing. So there are some automated writing assistants that we can use from AI. For example, some of them we can use it for grammar and spelling. So you don't need, anymore editors, okay? But for sure, you have to be your own editor, because even if the AI platform or app did the editing for you, you have to go through it again, because still sometimes they might have some issues. Okay. Sentence structures, plagiarism detections, as we said, Turnitin and, for example, Zoom. They have now the AI inducted to their system. For example, let's say you are because there are some cases happened with some graduate students, because the issue is they don't know how to use the AI. For example, one of the students, okay, she used ChatGPT to write literature review for a topic, and ChatGPT gave her, faked, not accurate references. So that's an issue, because the student didn't know that AI ChatGPT platform will not give you it is not a search engine. It's not like a Google or no. So you have to be careful of this. So that's what happens for her. She wasted her time, and then later on she figured out that it's all fake, all the references. So that's mean she can use other platform like SCI Science. That one we can use it for example, literature review, or maybe PDF chat. So there are different platforms you can use it for literature review. Those platforms, like for example, can identify or summarize some of the articles for you. Can give you more details, can write for you the bibliography for that article. Then you can read it and you can take. For example, some platforms, AI platforms, can find for you references for your research. So that's good, because it speeds the process of searching for articles, for example. Also, the structures and the organization of your writing help you in that, yeah? Because, for example, maybe you can have your paper and you ask the AI platforms, you have to use like ABA style. You have to do the formatting, the indexing. For example, if you have, let's say, you wrote an abstract more than 300, and then you can tell the AI, please rewrite it to be only, let's say, 300 words, or maybe rewrite the title for this, paper and all that. So it enhances your also professionalism, because you are, as a student, you learn through the whole process of using the AI through your writing your papers. So it is time saving. It helps you in editing, and also the academic performance, the clarity, the coherence, and also originality of the papers. Because you can, for example, if you use AI, then you can use other platforms to humanize, and then you can also do the editing and the writing again as a human. So it is streamline your writing process. It's refine your writing style. It's ensure also the originality, because how you do it in different processes, in different steps. First, maybe you can have one of the platform, and then it's for you the outline, and then you will go and search for other platform to search, for example, for articles. And then you can use a third AI platform or applications, let's say, to rewrite it and then summarize it, doing a grammatical check. So all these kind of platform you can use. So at the end, it will be your own original work. It is not only like AI. What we don't recommend for researchers and students is you use one platform, you write it, you copy and paste it, and you submit it to to your faculty member, or a journal or whatever. So that is not right. Okay, so you have to overlook what you are writing through the AI. And also for enhancing professionalism, for example, you can post the piece of writing to the AI app or applications, okay, or the platform, and you can ask what this AI platform thinks about this this piece of writing. For example, you can write for AI as the prompt, because writing the prompt is very important. For example, you can write imagine that I am an expert, educational expert in teacher licensing, in pedagogy, let's say test in the UAE context. So what do you think about this? Or write for me some outlines, okay, headings, subheadings to think about this, or review this paper. So it helps you anytime. For example, if you are awake at, let's say, 3 a.m. and you want to do some work, AI will help you. But for example, if you want to meet up with a friend or a researcher or editor at 3 a.m., you will not, you can't, especially with the time differences if it is international collaboration. So that's good for, good use for you as a researcher. So as I said, AI, you can use it for proofreading. You can have your manuscript as error-free. Also, you can think about the context recommendation, because, for example, you can ask the AI and you can say, for example, you are in Indonesia, or maybe in Malaysia, or maybe in Bangladesh. So you can write this, that, I am a researcher or expert in, the education context or higher education context in Bangladesh. So tell me this and this, and then you can see. And for example, because you are from Bangladesh, you can read what is written, and then you can, make sure it's all right, not biased. But for example, if I am in the UAE and I am Emirati, so I know more about the educational context of the UAE. So whatever the AI give me, I can identify what is right and what is wrong. And also it can use for language enhancement. For example, if you have some repetitive like phrases, words, the AI can, assist you in that. Also can assist you in the consistency of your paper, the ideas, the terminology you are using, the tone, also the accuracy of the information, okay? So for example, when you think about the tone and terminology and all that, for example, you can write as a prompt for AI, like even for example, writing, an email for marketing or for, one of your colleagues, or maybe let's say for your advisor. So maybe you can write, for AI, one of the platform or ChatGPT, can you write an email discussing this issue? Please make the email as friendly as you can, or maybe as professionally as you can. So even you indicate what the tone of that email will be. Even sometimes when you do the editing and the drafting, sometimes there are some limitations, because as you know, the AI is, fed by, specific data. So if the AI doesn't have that kind of data, so it cannot give you the actual information. So for example, if you have some subject-specific knowledge, okay? So if there is those information is not there, so it will not give you. So you have to be careful with this. And also the context, because as I mentioned, like a context of maybe Bangladesh or Indonesia or Malaysia is different than the context of, let's say, the UAE or some of the Gulf countries or the Middle East countries. So sometimes the AI has some limitation in those issues, and also in making the decisions. We can use it for this, but we have to, rethink about whatever we are doing and whatever we are using this AI for. Sometimes the issue and the role of AI in identifying potential bias is important, because it helps sometimes to detect and uncover some biases, and also that will help in the accuracy and fairness of the of the writing piece, because sometimes it can give you some prejudice views, okay? So it's all based on the database, okay? It's based on, like, for example, we have like big or large data set to detect some linguistic biases. So we always try to validate these sources. We have to think about it to make it more like, credible, especially and fairness and accurate information. That's why we have to reread and reanalyze whatever the AI is feeding us. Also, some of the issues is, what about the culture? We have to think about it. We have to think about the source selections, the language that is using, because AI sometimes, using like, some languages related to gender, or maybe some issues like, sensitive to some of the cultures. Like, for example, one of the researcher was, he was preparing a presentation, okay? And he didn't notice, like, he used an app to generate a presentation for him. and he didn't read through the content of the presentations. And later on, when he was presenting that idea, there were some cultural sensitive information, like the issue of gay in a context. Like, for example, in the UAE, we don't discuss those kind of issues, sexual issues. Maybe in other countries it is okay for them, like maybe in America, US, or UK, or Spain. So this is important. We have to think whatever data or whatever writing or piece of writing we have, or presentation or whatever, to make sure, to think about the culture. We have to evaluate the source. Okay, for example, if the piece of writing, it's from, is it from diverse or reputable origins or not? For example, it is from a specific article, but maybe this article, you feel the information or the data collected maybe is biased. So maybe you have to reevaluate the source and rethink about it before you get the information from. You have to recheck the language, and also the peer review process is important and help in, especially in the academic world. Ethical consideration and credibility is important. Always, if you are a researcher, okay, and you are collaborating with others, so maybe it's better, or maybe you are working in a company, okay, for marketing, medical company, or whatever, okay, it's better to tell the others that you are using a specific platform, AI platform, so they know the kind of information you are getting and why you did it like this. Because in the future, if something happens, you know the source. So it is important to be transparent in this, and clear with your colleagues that you are using this specific AI platform. So when we think about ethical consideration, even, for example, let's say you have an AI platform to, you're writing the text and you are generating, let's say, a video, or maybe a photo, okay, or maybe a design, or maybe a modules, or that, okay? So when we think the copyright for all this, who will take it? Is it you, as you created using these platforms, or the company who create the AI? Or so it depends. So there are controversial issues, policies regarding this, and they are working on it. So before you are using any kind of platform, try to read the ethical issues, the copyright issues before you use it, so you be in the safe side. So you don't use this, let's say, a text to photo, and then let's say you have a model or design, and then you have that model, and maybe you submit it for award and you won that award, and later on, maybe let's say the company will sue you because of that, for example, okay? So you have to think about all these kinds of ethical considerations. For example, in your university, you have to check what is acceptable and what is not acceptable to use. But what is good is, like, now all countries try to think and generate some policies regarding using the AI, especially in academia. For example, in the UAE, I think Abu Dhabi University, they have list of, like, standards and policies for their students, like, the percentage of using AI and all that. So as I mentioned, the data privacy is important because, if you have some sensitive information, for example, like, in banking, with banking, the data, the big data they have is very sensitive because it have, information of the people, their money, like, how they get it and all that. So this considers as, sensitive information, so we have to protect and secure this data. So we have to be very careful whenever you are using the AI, whenever you are, feeding those ChatGPT or other platforms. And you have to think about the regulations in each country, in each platform, in each institution or company. And as we said, stakeholders, it depends. For example, as I mentioned, in my country, our stakeholders, the Minister of Education, mentioned and stated, clearly that we want our students to use the AI. So my country using big data, AI in almost in all, sectors. And we have different programs like, the Arabic programmers and all that. So they, try to, assist others, especially researchers, to use it and teach them, and also our students, and encourage them, motivate them to use AI. And as I mentioned, algorithms, we have to think about, the fairness, because this all like data, sometimes, it has biases. So we have to evaluate, and prevent any kind of discrimination. For example, we know like AI platforms and apps, they are good with English language. But if we are using it for Arabic language, we have some limitations. So that means because whatever it's feeding, okay, the data are getting for AI, it's more based on English. So who are writing this? The website and all that. So that means there are people from, who speak English. So maybe from the US, let's say from other countries. But from the Arab countries, we don't have lots of people who's, feeding research information about, for example, a specific topic. So that's the reason the AI also cannot get more information regarding this. So that's why sometimes, we have limitation in the Arabic world using AI. So always we have to, as a human, we collaborate in making the decision. Even if we are using the AI, we have to be accountable for all these kind of, decisions we are making based on the AI. So AI, we can use it as, to assist us, to speed the process, but not the final decision or the final product will be based on the AI. So that means we have to have the final touch as a human, okay, over the AI. It's similar, like, some like researchers or, might say like, AI will take, over our jobs, but it's not. We have to think about AI as how can AI assist us in our work, in our academia, in our research, in our, making decisions and all that, okay? So this is like mentality and way of thinking is important. So as I mentioned, there are some ethical concerns, and all we know about this. So we always try to, think about it. What are the risks? There are some committees, even in big companies, thinking about this. Even in public, stakeholders, are thinking about what kind of policies they can make. For example, if you know, in Davos, there was the World Economic Summit and Conference, and they were discussing the issue and the idea of using AI in academia. So it is important, but we have to learn how to use it. And also we have to think about how we, generate those platforms, in collaboration with big companies. Also, for example, one time I met one of my colleagues, and he's a trainer. So what he said once, it was he said that, we have to go deep in the training sector, because maybe in the future, AI will take, the training sectors, and, it will be all about AI. They will not need us as a human to do the training for example, teachers or, other companies. So as I told him, sometimes, as I mentioned, whatever we are using, even for AI for training, at the end, we need the human touch. And also, even AI, you can use it, for example, for making money and all that. There is a AI avatar, maybe you heard of Michaela. So this avatar is all designed by, it's kind of like, avatar is all designed by AI. So now, this Michaela, got lots of money, and she make many advertisements for big companies and all that, and they are making contracts and all that, and it's all based on AI design. So we have to think about how we can use AI for our benefits. For example, different disciplines, how we can collaborate, using AI. If we are, let's say, from law, or maybe social sciences, or medical, or from, let's say, economy. So we should learn how we can collaborate and use the AI. So that means it is very important to learn the skills, because, AI is like skills. It is similar to, for example, when we, 30, 40, or maybe 50 years ago, or let's say, okay, when we used the first laptop, okay, first was, the laptop, the computer was in as a whole big room, and now the laptop and the computer is a small one. So think about it, how we use that. For example, we are using the PowerPoint, how we can use it in creating and designing, let's say, our presentation, adding text, adding photos, adding videos. All this, 40 or 50 years ago, as students, we didn't know how to use it. Okay, we don't have that skill. And now everyone knows how to use it. Even if you have a kid in, in grade 1 or grade 2, he or she can use, the PowerPoint and use the videos, opening YouTube or whatever, okay? So that means it is very important to teach our students, and also we are, as researchers, to learn about AI as a skill, to learn how to use it. Because it will boost our, and robust our innovation, even for our jobs and for academic research. It will help us in our research quality, the resource, and also when we collaborate with other disciplines. And also it's beneficial for the jobs and careers. Imagine you are working on a company and we have 2 employees, okay? One of them are using AI, okay? And the other one no, is not using, okay? So the person who is using the AI, let's say he will make the analysis, he will create like, tables, he will like analyze some data, okay? The other one maybe will use simple Excel sheet. He or she will enter the data one by one. Imagine if you have big data. So that will take time and efforts, and at the end, it might have some like, human errors. But for the machine, because the AI depends on machine learning, okay, as a machine, they learn. So they will do all these processes quickly. So it's good for industry, it's good also, it's part of the technological advancement that we are seeing. Because, it's like in each second and in each minute, we have new information that the AI gathering. And we have to, when we are using some of the platform, because for example, the ChatGPT, the data that is fed, it's like, maybe by 2021. So maybe it doesn't have the new information like for 2024 or others. Okay, for example, if I want to create a specific email, so I might use another AI app. So even choosing the app which beneficial for specific task is also important. So as a researcher, what we can do, we can look at different apps, and we choose what is suitable for us, because maybe we will use it, for example, for research, or maybe for analysis, or maybe someone who's doing like for let's say like text, videos, like design, art things. So maybe they will be using different apps. But as we know, the issue that we are facing are those, some of the apps, it has limited versions. We have to trial, also we have to pay for it. So the payment or the funds also, as I mentioned earlier, it is an issue for most of us. Also, AI, we can use it for collaborations and also problem solvings, because it can create some solutions, and it's important for decision making, especially on like governmental, like basis. Also, AI, we can use it for publication. For example, let's say you are searching for specific journals. So maybe you can write for AI app about what journal you need, what will be the scope of the journal, and then you keep searching. Instead of you are like, just going to Google Scholar and try to find like, and search for journals. So AI is like, is important, as I consider it as interactive learning experience. Because, you are, as a researcher and as a student, you are learning from all these AI apps. And it is good also for the career development. You do your work, faster than before. So as we know, AI also is important for education because, through AI, you can do lots of, academic work. So it's important for students, for teachers, for leaders, for principals, for anyone who's working in academic research. For me, I always encourage my students to use AI platforms, but I tell them always you have to indicate what is platform you are using and how did you use it, and she or he will show me how they use it. So I go with them through the learning process. And also we try to encourage other students to use it, especially if one student experience using that app. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Murshidi. It was very interactive and understandable. And we learned a lot from this lecture, that AI is not completely teacher, but it's assistant, which provide us assistance in our academic career at different levels. And thank you very much, ma'am. It was very, very wonderful knowledge you have shared with us. So before we go towards the Q&A session, I would request everybody to please on the camera so we can get group photos. Everybody kindly please open your cameras, or at least we can see and we can have a group photos, because the platform is full. We have 100 participants. Ma'am, if you can close your slides now, because it's already done, so that we can see people. On. Turn this on. Because a lot of people are there, so I have to take multiple screens one by one. At the end of the screenshot, I will take the questions one by one.
So for the questions, will you read the questions or I read them and answer them?
I will read the question from chat box, and then you can reply, or if you feel feasible, you can directly read it, no problem. Both are
I think it will be easier for me to read them and understand them.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Just
If
last screenshot.
Okay.
It was very huge number.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them all to be here. Questions. There are many questions, basically about the platform. They are asking, there are a variety of questions regarding the platform. Which platform is suitable for students to use and reliable, basically?
Yeah, let me open the charts. It's easier to read the question and answer them, okay? I'll read them.
Yes.
Would you please, which tools can be used for research and finance? this is like, for me, there are many AI platforms. For me, for example, I search on daily basis. So it's better for you to search for your own, because you have to check if it is free or not. You have to check if it has like, a trial basis. So for example, some of them have like, limitation, like ticket limitation. For example, you can use like, 3 times or 4 times a day, and then next day you can use it. So it depends on if you can buy it or not. So, and you have to experience it, and you try to find if you like it or not. Because for me, in my academic research, I try and I experience it, and then I decide which one I will use, and it will be easier for me to use. So that's better to do it. There are many and plenty. If you can Google it, even if you can go through LinkedIn, because I take many courses in LinkedIn Learning. They have plenty of AI courses, and in those courses, they mention many of the platforms. Also, you can Google it, write like, AI platform, and then write in which sector do you want, in finance or in other sectors, okay? Let me see. I think all of them asking for sharing the presentation, and also AI platform.
Session is recorded and will be available on Facebook and YouTube channel. So don't worry about the slides.
Yeah, questions like, you said that when ChatGPT provides a citation or reference is not accurate, then you mentioned an AI would be able to provide you references. What was the name of the AI you mentioned? Okay. For ChatGPT, you have to be very careful, because it depends on the prompt you are writing. Because whatever you are writing for ChatGPT, it will give you. Okay, but ChatGPT, it is like, it is artificial intelligence. So it is not like Google search or Google Scholar. It will not give you accurate references or in-text references. So you have to be careful of this. What he's doing is faking. He writes fake, references. But you can use other sites, for example, the SCI science, okay, and there are many others. If you write, for example, like, PDF chat, okay, or if you go to Google and write, for example, AI generating literature review, okay, like free, if you want free, and then you check those websites and see which one is good for you. So there are plenty of them. But the issue, as I mentioned, is because, if you don't pay for them, so you have limitation in those AIs. Okay, some accurate references or for our text. As I mentioned, there are some. What can I do? I can send the organizers some set of some of them, and then you can check and use it. But as I told you, some of them you have to pay for it, but you can find the trial. So that's what can I do, okay? Because there are many. Okay, I think there are, most of them, they have the same.
There's a question. Is there issues by AI which affects law point of view other than the copyright infringements?
Yeah, that one, I reached that one. Is there issues by AI which affects law points of view other than copyright? Okay, thank you. Yeah, as I mentioned, because, when we think about the copyright and plagiarism issues with AI, for example, as I mentioned, if you use like, AI for, from generating from text to video, or text, let's say, to a photo design, or if you are in the art sector. So you have to read that company, what their laws, what their, copyright issues, because it depends on each application and platforms. Each one has specific, like, issues related to copyright. So you have to go through that one, especially if you are using one of the platforms, like, and you are thinking to use it for a long time, okay, because that's your specialty. So it's better to read their copyright, because they have some issues related to copyright. And also there are some issues, for example, maybe in the UAE or in the Asian countries, we don't have an issue of using like one of the platform, but in other countries, if you are using the same platform without indicating the copyrights and all that, you might have issues in other countries, for example, in the US. So you have to be careful with this also. Okay, 2 questions. How can AI improve research process academia? Okay. Are AI-powered writing tools effective in higher education? Yes. As I mentioned, AI can improve and speed the process of your writing process. For example, let's say, okay, you have a big project, okay, and that big project, you are working with different, countries. Let's say Arabic countries, like 5 or 6 Arabic countries. So, for example, each collaborator, researcher wrote, let's say, a literature review, okay? And then they give it to you, and you have to write, for example, a summary for, let's say, 20 pages or maybe 100 pages. Imagine, okay? You have to write, for example, let's say, intro with a specific, information they need, and they want also a conclusion with specific information they use. So you can use AI for that. It will help you a lot in that, okay? And then you can rewrite that intro and conclusion. So yes, please try to learn how to use it, because it's beneficial. But you have to be aware that, if you are in a company, or maybe you have to tell the others that you are using it, okay? Because you have to humanize it, okay? There are many writing tools effective in higher education, like, for example, for plagiarism. Because, for example, when you are, let's say, you are writing a piece of literature review and you want to check the plagiarism, okay, because plagiarism will help you, will identify those sentences, and then you will go back again and rewrite it. So that's, a help, yeah. Also for editing, like, previously you may pay money for editor, native speaker, to do the editing for you, but with AI you can do it, okay? So there are plenty of platforms, but as I told you, if you have the money, it will be good. But sometimes if you don't have, you can use the trial. So what you can do, for example, if you have a piece of, let's say, 10 pages, so what you do, you copy, maybe it depends on the limitation of that platform, maybe the 300, you do the editing, and then you copy it again. So it will be longer for you because you don't pay the money for that, okay? You use the free version. Okay. Other questions? This is good questions. Is AI about to take over the whole jobs? It appears to have every solutions to math problems. How can one stay relevant in the world of AI? No, for sure, as I told you, because who created that AI? We, as a human. Okay, imagine this situation, and that's happened. It's a real story, okay? One of the colleagues, he has his kids, okay? A small kid, he's like, in KG. In nursery. So what he taught his kids that, before you go to bed, you have to, it's similar to machine learning, how it happens, okay, for the AI. The parents taught that kid, like, you have to brush your teeth before you go to bed. You have to get your pajamas, okay? So that's what he does at home, okay? So when he's in nursery, what he did, like, when they asked him, you have to go to take naps in the nursery, he said, and he refused. He said, no, I have to floss and brush my teeth. I have to take my pajama on, and then I will go to sleep. Okay. So then the principal called the father and told him that's the situation. So the case is, like, this context and these rules is just only for their home, not for the nursery. Okay. So the AI platform works, the machine learning work the same. Whatever we are feeding, it will come. So sometimes that when we have, the biases, we have to recheck, reevaluate as a human, because we are feeding that one. Also, for example, as I said, maybe you are using one of the AI platform, it will do editing for you, proofreading. But when they, edit the in-text citation, they will, the semicolon, they will delete it. So we know as researchers, when we do the editing for the in-text ABS style, it should be there. It should be the last name and then the semicolon and then the year. But that platform will delete it. But you are the human, the researcher, this is incorrect. So you will not, follow what AI says. Okay, so that's what I mean. You have to be knowledgeable. You have to learn about all this, and you have to learn the skill of that using the AI. Because think about it as assistant, not overtaking your jobs. Okay, please. Someone asked, so if I get a reference from ChatGPT and browse it in Google, but couldn't find it, I told you, don't waste your time because ChatGPT, it's for generating text. Don't use it for for referencing and all that. There are other platforms. I will send you some of those platforms for referencing, writing, academic writing. Okay. Because, for example, you try it, okay? You try it. Open ChatGPT and write, write me a literature review about specific topics and context, okay? And write the reference for me, AB style. The ChatGPT will write for you the reference. Take, as you mentioned, take that references and find it in Google. You will not find it because it's fake, okay? As I told you, ChatGPT, it is like, AI, artificial intelligence. It's like, a human talking to you, giving you ideas, helping you, supporting you, collaborating with you. It's not giving you specific information. Okay, you try for yourself. Like, for example, ask them about, a policy or a law in the UAE. Sometimes it will not give you because he will say to you, I'm not giving you specific information. I'm just helping you and assisting you in designing, creating, outlining. But the rest you have to do it. You can use other platforms to do it and help you and assist you. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, there is no more questions.
Yes, ma'am. The questions are over. Once again, ma'am, thank you very much because this was very, very informative session and we have learned a lot from your session. And inshallah, in future, we will again collaborate with you and we might have advanced type of AI in education session on that once again. So yeah. Thank you very much, ma'am.
There is some questions coming up.
Yeah, again, questions.
Yeah. Shall I answer them or?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
Okay. So please, which AI can I get correct reference? As I said, I will send the organizer list of AI applications. You can try them and use them. And as I told you, some of them are not free. Okay, so you might use the free trial, or maybe you pay after you experience it. Use it and check if you like it or not before you use it. Okay. How can let me see. How can AI be effectively integrated? Just a minute, because someone is writing. How can AI be effectively integrated into academic writing process to enhance creativity and ensure ethical standards are maintained? Yeah, you can use it for creativity because for example, let's say you have an idea, so maybe you can write. Because, writing the prompt, the accurate prompt and detailed prompt for the AI platform, for example, ChatGPT or maybe Google Bard, or because even each one of these, Google Bard is different than Bing, is different than ChatGPT. Each one of them has specific, qualifications. They are, beneficial for specific kind of task. Okay, so yeah. You can ask, I am in the, let's say, in technology and design, or I am in structural design in a specific field. Okay, write for me, I have this idea. what other ideas do you have? Write for me. So the ChatGPT, for example, or other platforms will give you some ideas, and then you you will go and search. You go and search, okay? So it gives you some ideas, and even for example now in media, for example here in the UAE in January, a few days ago, we had a big conference, a big forum. It's called I think 1 billion or one. Yeah, it's for just for for influencers. Okay, so imagine those influencers who creating kind of videos, media, and social media and all that. How they do it? How they do it? They use AI to write the transcript. They will say, okay, they use, for example, the camera, and then they will use different platform, AI platform, to to manage, to organize the video, to put all these text, to put all this and add these photos and all that. So that's how you building up your creativity. And as I told you, ethical consideration and standards is also important, because if only you ask ChatGPT to write something and you just copy and paste and give it to someone, this is an issue, because now everywhere it can detect that it's written by AI. It should be your human touch on that product. Okay, you have to rewrite, think about it, see it if it is right or wrong. You have to think about all these kind of issues. Okay, yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you very much. I think people are not ready to leave because it's very informative. Again and again, questions are coming and everybody is enjoying this
And
session.
it is interesting, in
Yeah,
every
interesting.
second there are new AI apps you can use and you can learn about. It takes time to learn it. So just take the time to learn how to use it. That's it.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. We are going to end this session today. One of the things, and I'm thankful to all the participants who joined the session today, and it was 100% full. Everybody was on board, so it happens. Thank you very much once again, everybody. Allah Hafiz. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.